Well, good morning. It's the 10th of January 2019. Must be about 8 weeks ago now. I received a phone call from a lad called Nathan inviting me back to Rainbow. So in 7 days' time, I'm going to be heading back down to the south of France with him to fish a week in Peg 11. Needless to say, I'm buzzing about the trip. Pretty much sorted now as well. Sorting the gear ready for this trip hasn't been as grueling as it was for the first one, mainly because I've got most of the bits that I need. I had boxes up in the loft with Rainbow written on it, stuff that I don't use or wouldn't use in my fishing, excuse me, anywhere else in the world. So that part of it has been quite plain sailing. Needless to say, I have treated myself to some new essentials that I require for the week, and some not so essential, but I thought, sod it, it was Christmas, so I treated myself anyway. So yeah, it's actually come around really quickly, obviously with the Christmas period, New Year, etc. That just went in a blink of an eye, as it always does. So yeah, 7 days now till I go. This week I've done a few bits. I've prepped up some tigers. They're glooping up nicely under the kitchen table, which the wife isn't too pleased about, but needs must. Bait I've got, I'm taking with me on this trip Premium Carp Foods Sweet Amino, which is a newish bait that they've released to a few of us this last probably year, I suppose. Utmost confidence in that, so I'm taking that. But yeah, got some hemp bits and bobs, but obviously with this time of year it's all weather dependent. It has been cold this week over there. Temperatures down to sort of -8. It hasn't fished brilliantly. I think there's only been 4 fish out so far this week. One from 12, one from 16, one from 17, and the fourth one I'm not too sure. Biggest one that I know of so far is a 52 that's been caught by Dean in Peg 17. But yeah, so I'm in Peg 11 as it is. I'm on the right hand side. It's a nice comfortable swim. Done a load of research on it obviously prior to going, and there is some areas where you need bottles and double leads, but a lot of the fishing is sort of not that far out, relatively close in. There's a few humps and bumps, but a lot of people play the fish from the bank there, so that's going to be a little bit different when I get a bite while we're over there. But yeah, it's not long now. Like I say, it's Thursday today. I'm travelling up Thursday sort of lunchtime, early afternoon. I'll be travelling down to pick Nathan up, who lives down in Surrey, I think it is, and then from there we'll go to Portsmouth, overnight crossing Thursday, drive through France Friday morning, get to Rainbow early afternoon on the Friday, and then we're going to crash in the clubhouse for the night. And then the Saturday morning we're going to get up early. We'll shoot down the road to the supermarket and do the sort of the shop for the week, rather than both of us going out shopping in between now and then and doubling up on food. We're going to do like a big shop on the Saturday when we're there. I'm going to do a couple of meals to take with us, a couple of curries or chili or something, just so we've got sort of fresh food for the Saturday night. That'll defrost and let's whack it in the pan then. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like I say, the prep work hasn't been anywhere near as hectic. The big difference on this trip obviously is it's winter, and it can turn on a sixpence the weather, as we know. However, the long range forecast for while we're over there is good. It's actually, temperatures are increasing over the next week. We're looking at sort of 12s and 13 degrees during the day and 4s and 5s at night. We're at the moment You know, you're looking at 4s and 5s during the day and anything down to -8 at night. So hopefully that might spur them on a little bit more to feed. But we shall see. You know, for me, it's another opportunity to be fishing an amazing venue. Great bunch of guys, and we all know, you know, the potential. A bite out there, it could be £7, it could be £70, it could be £90. Scarface came out just before Christmas, you know, and that hadn't been caught since April, I think, of last year. To the extent some people, well, a lot of people thought it was dead, and then it came out at £92. That'll do. So yeah, I'm going to love and leave you now. So just out with a pooch, taking her for a walk, nice brisk walk before I go to work. So I'm guessing the next bit of filming I'll be doing will be on the day that I'm travelling. Like I say, pretty much sorted now. Got a few essentials that I need to pick up, but you know, the bulk of it is done. So until Thursday the 17th of January, I'll see you then. Well, it's D-Day. Yep, it's Thursday the 17th of January, and in 45 minutes-ish I'm going to be on the road heading down to go and pick Nathan up. Run quite smoothly, all the preparation and stuff up until 48 hours ago when the van hire company contacted me to let me know they'd ceased trading. Which obviously was a major worry, but thankfully, because it's a franchise, one of the other sites, or one of the other franchises, they bought me a van here yesterday evening. They delivered it, or sorry, yesterday afternoon they delivered it to me. So yeah, yesterday morning was a bit of a panic. Not yesterday, day before, sorry, realising that you know, I may not be able to get a van. And not only that, I found out my driving licence expired as well. So yeah, running up to this, everything had run quite smoothly. I knew something was going to drop a ball somewhere, but we're all sorted now anyway. The van's here, the van's loaded. So yeah, I'm just got a few little bits to pot around the house, get the fridge in the van, and yeah, I'll be on my way for the first leg of the journey down to pick Nathan up. So as the journey goes on, I shall keep you posted. Well, after a long journey, we've finally arrived. Yesterday, I was going to do a bit of filming yesterday, but I was absolutely shattered, to be honest. So just got on the ferry, got some sleep. The journey here, fine, straight down, 6.5 hours, something like that. No dramas on the roads. But yeah, just pulled up to the gates, so we're just going to go through and go and see Pass now. So yeah, I'll keep you posted later. Good morning, it's Saturday morning now, just coming up for 9 o'clock, and we've managed to get into the swim early. The lads are in here, they only managed the one fish last week, and that was the latter part of the week, so fingers crossed it means the fish are moving around a little bit more. But it is what it is. Went out for a meal last night, spent the night in the lodge, in the clubhouse. Yeah, as me, normally early riser. Got sorted, driven around to the swim. Yeah, so now the task of unloading and getting base camp set up. But the fact that we've got in early gives us a lot of daylight hours to hopefully go out and find some spots. The forecast is a little bit of rain coming through a little bit later. So at the moment, the sun's out, a bit hazy. Wind sort of blowing into this bank slightly. So is what it is. We can just give it a go. Right, that's it. We're just about, well, the house is up. Cook tent's up. It's just coming up to, I ain't got a clue what the time it is actually. It's probably about 12:30, so not bad. And the weather was really kind to us. The sun was out all the time. I actually had a sweat on setting up, which I didn't expect in January. So, but yeah, you can see now it's just we just had a bit of a downpour, and yeah, it's just about time to go out in the boat and try and find a few areas to put the rods in. This could take some time. I was going to do some filming when I'm out there, but we'll see, depending on what the weather's like. Okay, well, I'll keep you posted. Well, good evening. It's yeah, Saturday evening, just coming up for about 6 o'clock. It's still got daylight. We had the best weather to set up in. I was actually sweating at one point, but yeah, managed to get the house and everything up, cooked tent all sorted, and I was out for about an hour and a half, 2 hours in the boat. Found some spots and actually got rods out. So got 3 that are staying put, and the 4th one I've just put in a channel just round to the right, just for tonight, just to see if anything occurs. I'm going to do a bit more work on that spot, or that rod tomorrow. So, but yeah, Nathan's just put his 4th rod out. So yeah, now the tidy up begins, because the house is in a complete mess. But yeah, so first night or first evening, and we're out and fishing, which is a bonus. Anything happens obviously during the night, I'll let you know, but I shall I'll check in tomorrow. Well, morning, it's Sunday morning, just coming up for about 9:30 now. All quiet during the night, although did hear a couple early hours of this morning. A friendly koi poo decided to visit the swim, which disturbed me, and then yeah, I heard a couple somewhere out there. It's hard to judge this lake where they are, because the sound travels and bounces off all the trees, with it being sort of in the middle of a pine forest. It's hard to gauge where the actual noises are coming from, but yeah, fingers crossed something will occur at some point. My near rod that I've got here on the my left hand rod, I'll show you now. Yes, this is my my furthest left rod. I have a other one there, another one further up. This one I've got all my rods in sort of 20 foot to 23 foot of water. The sort of depth of water has been producing in other areas of the lake. Right at the back there is what's known as the chocolate blocks, and you're talking like 5 and 7 foot there. And the way the weather is, I can't imagine them being over there. However, I will be obviously keeping an eye out. But this left hand rod here, I'm going to be just bringing that in just a little bit closer. There's a drop off not too far out, only sort of 20-30 yards out, that goes down to about, I don't know, 18 foot, something like that. So I'm going to just bring that one a bit closer. The other 2, I've got one yeah, somewhere out there, you might be able to see on the screen, that's in sort of 21, and the one over there, that's in about 23 foot. They're all in the same channel. You've got these various channels that go out from this swim. Quite mulchy bottoms down there. Safe enough to present a bait if you lower the lead sort of slowly enough. It's not punching too far into it. But with this rod, I'm going to find a harder area for that one. And then the far right hand rod, yes, literally what I've done, I'll just put a sort of a long PVA stick on that with lots of crushed and blended boilies, and probably put half a dozen boilies around it. So if you want, that's going to be a sort of roving rod, I suppose. The 2 middle rods are going to stay where they are. I'll say the left hand rod's just going to be pulled back a little bit today, and I think that will be it. But like I said, I want to keep an eye on the chocolate box at the back, and if I see anything over there that's worth moving a rod, then I will do, but I can't imagine that happening until later on in the week. Nathan's just had to go out and reposition one of his rods over there. Unfortunately, last night, as you can see, the ducks can be a nightmare, and obviously with your rod tips up in the air, when they take off and fly, they flew rod last night and basically, well, wiped his left rod out, moved it probably about 20 foot, so he's just been back out there to reposition that one. But as is at the moment, I think the lake's been quiet. I haven't heard of anything coming out. I'm in contact with most of the guys who are fishing the lake now. But yeah, we'll just have to see what the day brings. But when I reposition that rod, I'll show you the rig and stuff then. What a place. Right, so I'm just about to do that, my left hand rod. Like I say, I wasn't quite happy with the presentation, so I've just I brought that in, put a float on. I'm just about to go out and put it back out there again. Simple enough. Like I've got one of the stiff booms that Eric does, a little bit of braided submerged, I think it is their Fox's leader material, loop to loop, and then a new what they call GS1 Premium Carp Foods GS1 bottom bait, and a little white pop-up. On the end of that, just it's an MCF lead clip, so the lead would dump every time, with about 6 foot of 80-pound solar contour and a float. And then the water I'm fishing is 18 foot, so I've got a stop knot at about 24-25 foot, so the line comes up through the water. But yeah, I'm just going to go and put this back out on the spot now, a little bit more bait around it, and then that'll be it for a few days. Afternoon. It's just come up for 4:10 now on Sunday. Nothing's occurred. Nothing that I haven't heard anything of occurring around the lake either. Obviously repositioned that rod earlier this morning. Like I said, that's going to stay there now till sort of Tuesday. I would have thought I might go out and check it on Tuesday, but I'm happy with the area it's fishing in. Well, it's been a reasonable day today. Earlier, I was down to my t-shirt. Really surprised when that sun was out. There's a lot of warmth, so the forecast hasn't been 100% accurate since we've been here. To be honest, with the timings with the different apps that we've got, because we weren't expecting that warmer weather. So I may start thinking about moving one over into the chocolate box where it's a little bit shallower. If we were going to have these warm periods during the day, you know, it may entice them to move into the shallower water, but we'll see. But as I say, at the moment, nothing's happened to our knowledge around the lake so far, but it's early days. Obviously it's going to start, the night's going to start drawing in soon. The sun's just sort of setting behind us, looking quite moody now as well. Actually, the weather looks looking like it might have a spot of rain coming. Yeah, you can see there it's looking a bit overcast in the distance, a bit darker, and up there behind the trees there's a big dark cloud, so we may get a bit of rain. But the temperature, you know, it's not too bad at all, surprisingly. You know, with it being January and what the weather's been like the last couple of weeks, you know, down to sort of -8 at night time. Thankfully, we're not experiencing those conditions at the moment. But like I'm saying, it's obviously still early days. The rods are out now; they're settled. It's just playing the waiting game now. But is there anywhere better in the world to wait? Right now, I don't think so. to have a laugh. Nathan, who I'm fishing with, has brought some DVDs with him, as I have. But he started to watch a new series. Well, no, in fact, it's a very old series, but new series to him, of the Pink Panther. Now, he likes his afternoon siesta, does Nathan? And he's put on the Pink Panther and it's been playing about, I don't know, 10 minutes. So you can probably hear Pink Panther. Listen to this. It's the beast of Rainbow. I'm guessing the series is really good. He's only had on for about 10 minutes. He's snoring his head off. Apparently, it's a recommendation from his other half. So that's what he thinks about that. Right, well, since my last update, just been chatting with John, who's fishing in Peg 9, which basically is around that corner, facing this way towards me. And he had a couple during the night last night, and a bream, 19 kilo, was his biggest one. But he said that during the night, like, I heard fish out in front of me, but he saw them. And he said they were definitely sort of on the right hand side of this peg, so basically in my water. He's been picking fish up between sort of 18 or 13 and 18 foot. So I'm in the right ballpark, you know, in the deeper water rather than the shallow. I'm not sure if I mentioned before, there's been one out 17, a small one, 10 kilo, 20 odd pound. So then I'm going to leave the rods where they are at the moment. I don't know, it's this right hand rod, my furthest right. Obviously I didn't, like I said earlier, I didn't put a lot of bait on that. There's literally a stocking of crushed boilies and probably half a dozen baits around it. And what John said when he rebaited yesterday, he actually put a little bit more bait, only 30 to 40 boilies around each one, and he basically had bites on 3 of his rods. So maybe they're looking for a little bit more. So rather than going up the back to position a rod, I might just redo this right hand one. You can see it just about there. Yeah, so I might just do that one. Put a little bit more bait around it, see if I can find a firmer area as well, because it's quite sort of soft where I've put that rod. But yeah, you know, it helps with the confidence when you're getting people telling you that they've heard fish in your area, so or seen fish in your area. So like I say, I'm going to give it till afternoon before I do anything. Just had a little bit of drizzle come through. I think it's going to be like that all day, sort of on and off. But yeah, it is what it is. Have a bit of a rethink, sit on my hands for a little while, and take it from there. Afternoon, quick update. Monday afternoon, still nothing fish wise. Nathan had he's been having a few sort of liners on one particular rod where he's fishing down in a channel. So he's been out and repositioned that rod about an hour or so ago. So other than that, I say it's pretty much all quiet. Just spoke to John in 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, he's fishing in 9. So it just explained that the takes that he had last night and where they come from. I'm not too far away from it with this right hand rod with my bait there. But like I said yesterday, I only put a little stock in a bait on that, and half a dozen broken boilies. So I've just soaked up some sweet amino boilies in some lake water, some of the glug, and I'll put some condensed milk in there, something really sort of sweet. So I'm going to leave that overnight. I'm not going to bother touching my rods now. I was going to, but I'm happy with where they are. There's no point moving them for moving's sake, but like I say, that my furthest right hand rod, that's the one that's going to be changed tomorrow. I may have a look up in the woodwork sort of behind me, sort of around there, tomorrow, but I'll only be looking for deep water, which I'm not sure if there is any up there, to be honest, because it's all, I say, it's known as a chocolate box. It's very shallow, but there may be if I can find something 13-14 foot, then maybe it would be worth a go. Lad's out in 6, don't know if you can see him there behind me, just there. He's just out rebaiting one of his rods. But no, apparently lads in 19 had a couple of takes yesterday, but I don't think they resulted in fish. So they are moving around. It's the weather's a lot more settled than what it has been over the last few weeks. Again, talking to John, 11 o'clock one morning it was still -6, and there's cat ice around the edges. So now that it's settled down a little bit, it may work in our favour. Still early days at the end of the day. It's only Monday, so I'm not too worried at the moment. But it is what it is. It's winter fishing. It can be very, very difficult. But I've got baits in the water, so there's always that chance. Yeah, it seems to be a bit colder today. Yeah, temperature's a lot lower than what it has been. But no such thing as bad weather. It's just inappropriate clothing. But we'll see what it does over the next 48 hours or so. Can't imagine him being anywhere else though. I don't know how much of you can see of me, but Nathan's out there behind me playing a fish. He's just had a take. I'm not sure what time it is. Probably not too late. Probably only about 5:30, something like that. Yeah, on his far left hand rod. So yeah, he's out there now playing it. I'll keep you posted. Well, I'll overlay them pictures. Ooh. There you go. I'll overlay the pictures. But yeah, Nathan's just had that fish with a 45-pound common. Got snagged up for a little while out there, but yeah, managed to get it unstuck. And it's amazing. He went over that area so many times on Saturday. Didn't pick up any sort of snags on the echo sounder or on the prodding stick. And just goes to show, these fish know their territory better than what we ever would. But yeah, so the camping trip's turned into a fishing one. So he's back out there now, just putting his rod back in the area. And yeah, hoping for some more. We've got a full moon tonight as well, which is really, really bright. It's like daylight out there now. I'll just show you quick. Yeah, I don't know how good that's going to focus in, but yeah, it is. It's really bright. That moon. When I say full moon and big commons, for rainbow, 45. Well, for anyone's down, 45 pounds of bloody big fish. But there's a lot of room and a lot of fish in here for a lot bigger. But yeah, I think it's going to be a cold one tonight. Like I say, it's a full moon. The stars are out. But yeah, so here's to the hours of darkness. Hopefully one of my rods will fold over. We'll see. Morning, Tuesday morning now. Nothing for me during the night. Obviously Nathan had that 45, but yeah, there's been a few more out. Peg 12 had a 25 kilo, so about 55 pound. 16 had a 20 kilo. Pegs 1 and 2 had a 28 kilo, and just seen that Marcin in peg 18 just had a 34 kilo, I think it was, so about 74 pound. So they're coming out, and they're coming out from sort of around the lake, which is a good sign, because the last couple of weeks it's been quite peggy where the fish have been coming from. Turned cold last night, very cold, ice everywhere this morning. Any sort of puddle had a little cap on it. But as you can see now, it's raining now, and it's going to be raining probably for the next sort of 24 hours according to the forecast. Still going to redo a couple of rods today. My right hand rod definitely is going to get done. Just cooking up some more hemp to put out there. I've got some bait in soak from that I did yesterday that I explained. But yeah, you know, it's is what it is. Just hopefully they'll move around a little bit further to the right so I can pick one up. But yeah, so 14, which was the swim last week where the fish were coming from, they haven't had anything as yet. But with 12 catching, and obviously Nathan catching here, 16 catching, they are moving around. So fingers crossed, it won't be long until they move around this way. But yeah, it is what it is. It's rainbow for you. But just about to have our breakfast this morning, which is going to be bacon and sausages and mushrooms. Just what you need on a cold morning like this. Right, it's just come up for 11:15 now on Monday morning. A bit bivvy bound at the moment because it's absolutely teeming down out there. So I'm just doing some fresh rigs ready for a little bit later. I just had to do my left hand rod not long after I'd done my last bit of video. Just while, literally a couple of minutes afterwards actually, we hadn't even had breakfast. I had a savage drop back on it. Line was slack basically from the rod tip down to the water and all the way along surface. I picked into it, there's nothing there unfortunately. So whether there's a fish, because I'm fishing in a channel, 20 foot, it drops off from like 12 foot down to 19 to 20 foot. So whether there's a fish moving along the edge of the slope, or whether it was a bream snatching at the bait, or I don't know what it was, but there was nothing there anyway. Lead had gone, but it is what it is. So I've just been out and redone that rod, so that's staying out there now for another 72 hours. But yeah, I'm just going to sort out some fresh rigs, ready for the other 2 rods that I'm going to change today. Still need to find a spot for the right hand rod. But yeah, just really wait for the hemp to finish cooking up, and then I'll go out in the boat in the rain and try and get it sorted. But yeah, it's what it is. Nice to have indication. There's been just heard from John in 9. He had another one this morning, just over 20 kilos. So yes, swim wise, one and 2 have had fish, 5 hasn't, 6 I don't think has, 7, 8 and 9, or John in 9 has, we have now in 11, 12 has, 16 has, 18 has, I don't think 17 has. Obviously Marcin had that 74 pound common earlier, which amazing fish. There's nobody in 21, and I don't think the Islanders has had anything either. So they're about. But yeah, I'm going to get on time getting these rigs sorted, and yeah, I'll catch up with you a little bit later. Right, well, we've got a break in the rain now, so I'm going to go out and go and do them 2 rods that I intended to do today anyway. Still drizzling a little bit, but a lot better than what it was earlier. So yeah, the rig's the right hand rod. I'm gonna have a bit of a play around out there and try and find a better area. Like I said all along, I only put a very small amount of bait on that, but I've just cooked up some more hemp and bits and bobs, so it's gonna have a bucket around it. Handful of boilies as well. But then I'm putting out on that rod, it's sort of like the bollocks rig if you want, but with tiger nuts. And that's just a little small soft section of the Fox sort of braided leader, spliceable leader, and then one of Eric's stiff boom sections. So yeah, that's going out, that's on the right hand rod. And then the second one, it's I've just same rig such, but I've just got a Stelliella pop up and a Brazil nut on that one. And that's been soaking in nut job liquid, and then I'm going to put some nut job boilies around that one. But yeah, so while the weather is the way it is, I'm going to go and put these out now. One thing I also have done, I've changed the leg clip that's going to be on the right hand rod just to a quarter one. The MCF clips are fantastic, they really are good. Dumping the lead really quickly, but if the fish are feeding quite finicky at the moment, at least with the quarter ones, you know, you've got a little bit more resistance there, hopefully to help set the hook before the lead comes off. That's my thinking anyway. That's what I'm going to go and do now. I want to get these two rods redone, rebaited, and then I'll be happy for the next sort of 72 hours or so. Okay, I've just that's better. I've just got back in from doing that right hand rod. Funny enough, it's not far off where I had it anyway, but what I did do, I found a firmer spot. It was still sort of soft, but it was firmer than the chod that's around it. When I pulled the lead up, it was absolutely caked in a thick gloopy silt. So yeah, so I've just put that back out there, not too far away from where it was in the first place. A bit more bait around it this time. Obviously last time I could explain, I've only put a stick around it. So that one has now gone out. I'm happy with that. That's got the tiger nuts on it, so that can stay there now. When I was lowering it over the boat and feeling the lead down, it landed where I wanted it to land. So yeah, I'm really happy with that one. So I'm just going to sort out my second to right hand rod. I'm going to look a bit further out. I've got two rods in the same channel out there, quite close together. So I'm going to have a bit of a nosy around, a bit further towards the back, see if I can find something a little bit deeper than what I found the first day I got here, because I was only finding 5s and 6s. So if I can find something around sort of 12 foot, 14 foot plus, then I'll probably put the rod on that area. However, on the way back in, whether it's a different point where I brought the boat back, where it shelves up to this margin, actually come up quite steeply. And obviously round that corner goes round to 7, 8, 9's water, or 9's water, which is a big bay. So I'm wondering if the fish are going to come through and around sort of on that channel. Just stand up. Hang on. Now at sea, but about there is where my marker is, and of course you've got all that corner there where that channel comes around and it continues, and I think it's the same channel that I've got my left hand rod in, and I think it's the same channel that Nathan picked his fish up in last night. So I'm just wondering if, you know, they might just come around that corner off the shelf, rather than at the moment I'm fishing the far side of the shelf, whether they might come in on the nearer side. Don't know. But yeah, so the right hand rod's done. Just about to do the second to left hand rod. That's out there. Like I said, them two baits are in the same channel, they're not that far apart. So I'm going to see if I might go a little bit further with that one, see if I can find some deeper water. But bait wise, literally all I've got in the bucket is some hemp and some mixed seeds. Again, not a lot. Freshly cooked, hence the reason the steam's coming off it. And then what I've done with the nut job boilies, I've crushed all them up. So there's a little bit of food in there, and then what I'm going to do on top of that, I've got the nut job liquid enhancer, so that's going to go in there as well. Not a massive amount of bait, and you think it's falling through the spots I'm on at the moment. It's falling through 20 foot of water, so you know it's going to break up a bit. There is small fish, they have been active, so I can't imagine them not pecking away at that. So, but yeah, that's where I am. I'll put some 10 millers in with that as well. Again, only 20 or so, and then 10 or 15 mil boilies. Well, there we go. Change it Tuesday's been completed. Obviously, this right hand rod I did a little bit earlier, which I showed you. The second to right hand rod, like I said, I was going to do a bit of exploring, and don't know if you can see it, possibly not. And then was basically, hang on a second. Yeah, right in the distance, just above my fingernail there, I found another channel that goes down to about 18 foot where I've got that one, which I'm more than happy about. It's a shame that I didn't find it on the Saturday, but hey ho, we live and learn. I know that for next time now. Yeah, so right hand rod, that's done. That's got the tiger nuts on. Second to right hand rod, it's got the Brazil nut and the Stelliella sort of pop up. It actually sits perfect. It's more like a wafter. I don't need to touch that now because the Brazil nut's going to be fine. Obviously, it's permanent bait. This rod, I think I'm going to leave. I'm not going to touch that one. That one's got a couple of GS1 hook baits on, and then the one had the indication on this morning, the drop back, whatever it was, down here. Again, that's been left now. That's got fresh bait. That was a GS1 hook bait and a little white 10mm pop up. But yeah, I'm happy now with all the rods. That one I've just done. Yeah, the one I've just done. The bottom again, although it was still soft, it was a lot harder than the other spots I've been fishing. So yeah, I'm more than happy with everything now. So confidence is high. Fish have obviously been getting caught. So yeah, now it's just it's down to the fish now. But I've done, I think, all that I can. It's in the hands of them. But I'm feeling confident, which is a good thing. And the rain stopped, which is even better. Morning, Wednesday morning. Unfortunately for me, nothing to report. Nathan lost one last night about 11:30 to a hook pull. But no, for me, no, nothing's occurred. Been a couple of smaller ones out, I think, overnight. But it's done nothing but rain for the last sort of 18 hours, and lots and lots and lots of rain as well. I've had to bail the boat out twice just in case. But as soon as you do it, it rains again. But it is what it is. You know, it's not as cold as it is back at home. From what I can gather, we've had a bit of snow this week in certain places. You know, it's like in the UK, with a little bit of snow, everything comes to a standstill. But no, I'd say here it's just still wet and muddy and wet, which is all part and parcel of being here. But yeah, still obviously still having a great time. Just that anticipation of hopefully one of the rods hooping over. But like I say, as it is at the moment, it's for myself anyway, it's all quiet. But it's nice. I know obviously Nathan lost that one last night, but that was the same rod he had the fish on the night before. So yeah, having a bite on the same rod 24 hours apart, you know, it's a good sign. But yeah, that's pretty much it really as an update. Not a lot's happened. A lot of wet stuff's fallen out of the sky. A lot of muddy stuff's ended up in my bivvy. But still all to play for. It's like I say, it's only Wednesday, so still got plenty of time yet. just be nice to have one of my rods hoop over. We can but try. Alright, Nathan's just had a take on his right hand rod, only positioned a couple of days ago. Not sure what was going on then, because it kited and then it just all went solid, but yeah, it's definitely a fish on. Definitely a fish on there. Yeah, nice one. Hello, mate. Yeah, so we weren't too sure what was happening then. The poly ball was kiting across the surface, and then when he went out to it, it felt like it had come off, but I think it just come over the top of one of the bars sitting in the channel. Excellent. They're still in the area then. Yeah, you ready? Yeah, there's Nathan just returning a, what was it, 22?
22 and a half.
22 and a half mirror. Come totally out of the blue, but obviously more than welcome. Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Well, that came out of the blue. Yeah, just sitting there. Nathan was just going to go and have his afternoon siesta. Just tweaked his alarm to see if, just to make sure they're all on, and it carried on tweaking. Looked out there and saw his float sort of moving from right to left. So yeah, it can happen at any time. So he's just heading back out there now to go and redo that rod. Well, my Nathan's out there repositioning his rod. Just thought I'd just go through sort of my setup, similar to what I used the last time, to be honest, except I've got 10-foot rods now, 10-foot 3-pound sonic rods, which to be honest have made life a lot easier. And the boat I was using 13 footers the last time I came, which, you know, they're all right, but I know a couple of times I end up sticking the bloody tip of the rod into the island, into snags and stuff as I was going out in the boat. But these 10 footers make it that much easier. Hook link, sorry, mainline braid is 60-pound braided mainline. To be honest, got it from China, cheap and cheerful, 35 quid for 2,000 metres of it, something like that. You know, throw awayable at that price. A couple of spools of that ordered in. But one thing I have done, on my other video I did, and you see on that post there, I got lots of sort of reflective tape on things, but decent reflective tape is quite expensive. So all I'd done, I had an old high-vis vest, and I just cut off the reflective strips off it, and then just gaffer taped them around the bank sticks, so they're on front and back. And yeah, I'll try and overlay a picture on it of what it's like at night time, but it's a damn sight better than the reflective tape that I bought. You know, those high-vis vests you can pick up from most places. I'm sure some people have got them kicking around the house, but yeah, just cut them up, undone all the stitching, so I just had the straps, the actual reflective bit. Yeah, put them around bank sticks, job done. Cheap and cheerful, but it works. Yeah, hanger wise, just the heavy Signet hangers there, and the solar spring arms, quiver locks I think they are. Quite hard to sort of come by now. They've got the titanium ones now, which I'll probably do the similar job. I've got them at home, but they're the short arm ones, where I want a longer one for wild fishing over here. And then something else I've done on this one as well, I've actually got a bike light on it. You can see that flashing away, so at night time, if and when, or as and when I get a bite, I can put that on, so it gives me a good guide while I'm out there where I'm heading back to. Obviously, as of yet, Haven't required any of it, but hopefully at some point over the next sort of whatever we've got left, 72 hours, 96 hours, then I'll put it to use. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. Oh, that spike there, that's the top of my wellies there. It's still a little bit shallower the other side of it, but too deep for my wellies. And not only that, it's it drops off to about 7 foot, about 3 foot after that. Last thing I want to be doing is falling through there. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So Nathan's out there, he's just sorting his resorting his rod out. And then I think it's siesta time. What is for him anyway. I'm hoping this is coming out. Nathan's in again. That's just gone from the marker right behind him over there. It kited to the right and it's just swam straight into this bank. Was he now 15 yards out, if that? Crazy. Yeah, what time is it now? Probably about 6 o'clock, half 6 French time. It's one of the rods he only did earlier today. Yeah, nice one, Nath. What's it look like? Alright, let's get my camera and stuff sorted now.
Let's just get some snaps and then you can go back, mate. Come on. Big good.
Yeah, happy?
Yeah.
Oh, there goes Nathan just putting that fish back. 41 pound it was. Yeah, cracking fish, mate. Well done.
Cheers, mate. I'll get mummy and daddy.
Well done, buddy.
Oh, it's cold. It's not ice.
Hello. Nathan's just gone back out, put that rod back out on the spot. Yeah, so that's 4 takes he's had now since we've been here, which is really good going. I think it's probably more takes than the other pegs, I'm sure. Not sure about 18. I know he'd had a couple, but yeah, you can't argue with that. What's that? 4 takes in 48 hours, something like that. which is really good going. So yeah, he's just back out to go and put the his rod back out again. Just hope for one of the big ones slips up. There's enough of them in here. Okay, so I was saying a bit earlier with the reflective tape. Well, not the reflective tape, sorry, the reflective bits off my old high-vis jacket. You see it stands out quite well. I mean, the jacket was a quid from, funny enough, Pound Shop. Well, good morning. Thursday morning now, just coming up for about 8:30. Sun's just coming up. Cold night last night, very, very cold. Everything sort of frosted up this morning. Still no activity for me. However, this morning I've seen a lot more fish activity, as in smaller fish, bream and I guess some small roach or whatever, which we haven't had in this swim for a while, especially over my side. Nathan had a couple of liners last night, so that's savage liners as well, so it's positive that the fish are still sort of within the area. But yeah, it's Big Fish Thursday, so that's what I'm planning. I'm stringing it out to have a big one, hopefully. But there's not much else I can do. I may move. I've got one rod that's been out there since we turned up on Saturday. Nothing's occurred on that, so that's possibly the rod I'm going to move today. Not sure where, I haven't seen anything to go on. Don't like moving rods just for moving's sake, but I've got 48 hours now to try and winkle one out, so I think I may just reposition that one. Heard a couple of fish during the night last night as well. It was to my left, sort of over in Nathan's water. So you know, they're about. They just don't seem to be over this side. Peg 9 didn't do anything yesterday that I know of, or the night before. Peg 6 were out last night in the dark. I'm not sure what they were doing, whether they were playing a fish or repositioning rods, but just seems down from this side not a lot's happening, but I'd say still plenty of time. You know, if I was turning up at my lake back at home and I had 48 hours ahead of me, I'd still be feeling really confident, and I am feeling confident. You know, I'm happy with my rigs and my spots and my bait. I'd say just that one rod I might move a little bit later. But Pascal's on his way round with my bread and my croissants. So I'm going to have that with a nice cup of tea. But yeah, I think it's going to be a nice day today, hopefully. Well, what 24 hours difference. This time yesterday, it's absolutely chucking down the rain, and now we're in glorious sunshine. I've had to strip off. I was in all my bloody thermals 2 hours ago. But yeah, I've just redone this rod over my shoulder. So that hadn't moved since Sunday. Bait and everything was still on it when I brought it in. It's still sitting the way I wanted it to. But what I've done, I've moved it. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Probably not, but a lot further back towards the chocolate box. I found an area just over the other side of a bar that dropped down to sort of 12, 13 foot. And Nathan had picked up one of his fish yesterday in 13 foot. Yeah, thought I'd try something a bit different. And where this weather is, like I say, it's they might start moving over that way where it's really shallow. It's my thinking anyway. Hopefully they'll just drop down the other side of the bar and have my hook bait, which would be nice. But literally, again, only a few scoops of hemp over the top of it with some crushed boilies, blended, so it's like a dust. And then in with that I put about 20 or so boilies that have been soaking in lake water in condensed milk since Sunday, so they're nice and soft and nice and sweet. And then I put a load of condensed milk in with the hemp as well, so bit of a cloud on the way down, and like I say, nice and sweet as well. So is what it is. I'm going to have a sort out now tomorrow, unfortunately, the rain's forecast again, so need to try and get as much sort of sorted today. I think we're spending the night in the cook tent tomorrow night. It's a lot easier to pack down than the bivvies, so try and get most of it away. But that's where we are at the moment. 18's just, he had another one earlier, 60 something or other. Can't remember, I've already said that this morning, but yeah, Marcin's doing quite well with the bigger fish, definitely. Not many, but obviously he's having the bigger ones. So yeah, for now, I'll leave you with a view of Rainbow on Friday morning. Well, there I was, merrily getting the water out of my boat. I've got a crack in my boat and the hole's full up with water, so I was bobbing around all over the place when I went out the boat a minute ago. And no sooner I got back, Nathan's picked up a take. Oh, I better concentrate on sorting my boat out for that reason. Nice one, Nath. Unfortunately, I didn't get any film of that last fish of Nathan's, but it was 47.14, I think we settled on. Obviously, I've just put the photographs on of the fish, cracking fish again. But yeah, strangely, it sort of, we only had, I don't even think his alarm sounded, it's just the bells ringing. Fish was kiting from right to left, and then started coming towards us, but when he got out there, basically went back to where he hooked it from, and that's where he landed it. Obviously I had the occurrence earlier, but unfortunately it was a bream. I've just put that rod back out again in that area. 12 have just had one as well, not sure the size of that. But yeah, is what it is. John, who was in 9, he's now gone, which that's the whole sort of bay round to my right. Might not do me any favours not having any lines in that water, because the fish are obviously going to be happy there. As far as I know, 6 haven't had anything yet either. Island hasn't. 5 I think they're just picking up bream. 14 haven't had anything today. Unsure about the rest of the lake, but it's been a really nice day today. Temperature's just starting to drop now. But yeah, we've had a bit of a sort out today, put some bits already in the van. Better to be prepared, because apparently the wetter stuff's coming again tomorrow and Saturday, so if we can get a bulk of it away like today, obviously prior to the wet weather, then it's going to help us no end. Because obviously when we get back home, it's snowing everywhere by the sound of it, and freezing cold, so the odds on getting anything dry at home are going to be slim. But yeah, that's where we are now. Don't know what the time is actually. I still can't tell you. It must be coming up for about 5 o'clock, maybe a little bit later. But yeah, it's sort of all to play for still. I'm just sort of discussing with Nathan about how things are happening. It seems like he'll have a fish obviously on the left hand side of the swim. I'll just move around there, and then sort of 12 will pick up a fish, and then Nathan will pick up a fish. So I think they're travelling up and down them channels and they're just bouncing off the disturbance. Just unfortunate at the moment. It seems like they're not coming this far down, obviously over the top of my rods, but you know, it is what it is. It's been a great week, and you know, I'm as excited as Nathan is when he's playing them fish, because you just never know. Now, I think the first time he came over was about 9 years ago, or maybe no, it was longer than that, but I think he had a 65-pound mirror, and then I think it was October last year when he had his first 50. They said he just getting plagued by sort of the 40s and 30s, but you know, I don't mind. I'll be plagued by them. But I understand what he's getting at, because when you come here, you come for the big ones in here. There's waters back at home with 30s and 40s, and this time of year as well. You know, any bite's a result, but then few and far between. So it'd be nice to actually have a big fish rather than you know, the sort of the stamp, if you want, that we're getting, or Nathan's getting at the moment. But like I said, just one of them would do me quite nicely. What Nathan has said though is if he beats his personal best, so 65-pound plus, then I can have the next bite on his rods, which is really kind of him. I can totally understand. You know, this place, if you you know, let your mate have a bite, or one of your bites, it'll be sod's law that it's going to be a 60 plus in it. So I can understand why he's reserved on that. But to be honest, like I say, I don't mind. It's just one of those things. It's fishing, you know. We come over here with the hope of catching. For me, just a bite. Being here is enough. You know, it's an amazing place. I feel very, very fortunate to actually be here and fishing. But of course, you know, a fish would make it that much sweeter. You know, still got whatever it is, 36 hours left to go, maybe a bit more, before the rods have to come in for the last time. So hopefully in between now and then I'll have one on the bank. Well, here's to hoping anyway. Morning, it's Friday morning now, about 8:30. And yeah, again, all quiet for me last night. I had a couple of bleeps on one of the rods, but we had a bit of rain and the wind picked up last night, so there's every chance it was that caused it. But yeah, here's what it is. Still got 24 hours. I'm going to, me and Nathan were chatting last night and this morning about how we're fishing differently, and although it's not massive, there's a couple of bits that different to Nathan's doing to what I'm doing. So I'm just going to change two of the rods. Literally all it is, I've got a lead core or leadless leader on, where Nathan's fishing like a mono leader straight through. Whether it makes a difference, I'm not 100% sure, but it's not going to do any harm. So I'm just going to redo two rods today. The other two are just going to stay there. But yeah, just a case of sort of ringing some changes. I know it's a bit late in the week to do it, but it's better late than never. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. It's going to be a sort of pack down day today as well. Get most of the bits away. The bivvy and that's going. The tent's being put away, and we're going to spend the night in the cook tent. It's a bit easier to pack up. But yeah, it's what it is. It's been a fantastic week now. We've had all sorts of weather, from rain to frost to sunshine, and I don't think that's helping a great deal either. But you know, there's a few swims on the lake that aren't fishing, so I'm not the only one. Might sound a little bit disheartened at the moment because, of course, you come over to, when you go on a fishing holiday, you expect to catch fish, or you hope to catch fish. On this occasion, as yet, that hasn't happened. So, like I say, there's still 24 hours left to go, and you know, just those little changes may make that difference. We'll find out. Right, I'll keep you posted, guys.
Well, I can't take the piss out of that because it's like the Chinese electricity will ever be. Ah, look, there are my old wheels. I sold them to Nathan about fucking 12 years ago. What's that? They're my wheels. I didn't like them.
Well, we're into the last afternoon now, Friday afternoon. Nathan's just had another one. He's just had a 38 common, and we had an audience as well. Clayton and Gav had just turned up, just popped round for a chat prior to going back round to the clubhouse. And yeah, funnily enough, they were in 12 had a bite. Unfortunately, that was a bream. And they came round here, and yeah, Nathan's had a bite. I'm sure what's happening is those fish are just moving up and down those channels between like 11, or Nathan's side, and 12, because it definitely seems to be the guy on the right hand side, so nearest us, having a few more fish than the chap on the left. Although the chap on the left did just he had one this morning, I think. But yeah, it is what it is. Most things are packed up now. Literally all we've got out now is the cook tent, and we're spending the night in there tonight, so it's a lot easier to pack down tomorrow. I did move one of my rods this morning. This one over here, I've moved it a bit further down the island, over that way a bit. Again, I found there's another channel there, not as deep, sort of 16, 17 foot, I suppose, but the bottom, although still with a little bit of dirt on it, was a lot firmer than what I've been fishing in. But yeah, it is what it is. Rods are out. There's still a chance. I think I just put a post on Facebook saying about you know, what a good week it's been, and you know, I've still got 20 hours left. And I think a comment that somebody made was from 0 to hero in a couple of minutes, and that's all it takes here. Now that bite Nathan had could have been a 70. If I get one, let's hope. Keep our fingers crossed. It's going to be a decent one. You just never know. But yeah, so unless anything happens in between now and then, and we're packing up tomorrow, then obviously I shall let you know. Until then, yeah, I'll see you a bit later. Well, that's it. Everything's packed away. Just got to get the outboard and battery out of the boat. But no, quiet night. Obviously Nathan finished off with that 38 yesterday. But yeah, sad day. Nathan just cleaning his tackle. You know, a bit of a wipe down, but but yeah, it's been a fantastic week. Just unfortunate the fish just didn't seem to be on this side. 6 didn't have anything either. So it was just one of those things, you know, if they're not on your side, you might as well be fishing a different lake. But no, a thoroughly enjoyable week. Yeah, so thanks to Nathan for the invite. Yeah, we've had a really good laugh. The weather's been up and down, obviously raining, cold, frosts, wind, sunshine, the whole shebang we've had. But no, just going to do the last few bits in the swim now, shoot round to the clubhouse. We're not leaving, well, we've got an overnight crossing tonight, so we've got plenty of time to drive up through France, so we're in no rush. Stop off and have something to eat somewhere. But yeah, first things first, just finish off cleaning in here, pop round to the clubhouse, see the lads who are just coming on. And then yeah, then make our way back. Now I'm back over here, as it is at the moment, July next year, 2020, in Peg 12 for 2 weeks. I've got another trip out to France in July. That's a different lake up in the Dijon region, which I'm really looking forward to. The wife's coming with me. There's 4 of us and sort of wives and partners going. Beautiful little lake. So yeah, I've got something to look forward to. The weather will be a little bit different there as well. Bloody hope so anyway, that time of year. But yeah, is what it is. That's fishing. like I said, I had an amazing week. Met some fantastic people yet again, like a big family here. The guys who were coming on today came, or a few of them came around last night, you know, and it's as if you've known them for years. Everyone's so friendly and helpful. So thanks all you guys for all your advice leading up to this trip and obviously during it. I wish all of you luck who were on this week. But yeah, and of course I've got to thank Pascal and Paul and Max for making us all feel so welcome here. It's an amazing fishery, amazing setup here, and you know, only takes that one bite. So until next time, I always say it, go out there and enjoy yourself, and remember, it's only fishing.